Hope everyone is doing fantastic. We'll give it another minute and we'll start with a few peeps. Yep, that's the move. The world is our oyster. We are lucky. If you can trade, you can just move everywhere. Awesome. I reckon we get cracking. We got a recording and people can just catch up a little bit later if need be. But welcome. Let's get cracking. Here's another week. Apologies for yesterday. Couldn't make it. Unfortunately, solo parenting and school holidays. But here we are tonight. So audio is all good in the chat. And as always, if you are watching this live, thank you for being here with me tonight. And if you're not, just make sure to leave a comment down below in the YouTube section. But if you are here with me tonight, please feel free to ask questions in the chat. I've got my Discord chat open, so I can answer them live. We can have a look at charts. But otherwise, what I was thinking of doing tonight is just going through my usual checklist, our usual checklist, which is having a look, obviously, at what the dollar is doing currently. We always start with daddy dollar, as I like to call it. And we can see that the good old dollar is retracing exactly where we thought it was going to head. So basically from this massive drawn liquidity we had up here, we can now expect the dollar to come back into this area. So the sub 95 cents, oh, 95, not cents, but sub 95, all the way potentially even lower. So I'm expecting the dollar to keep dropping for a while. We are seeing a lot of bearish news when it comes to obviously Trump saying things like Bitcoin is a new store of value, all these things, which is fantastic for us in crypto, but obviously devalue the dollars. And mind you, with a cheaper dollar at a macroeconomic level, what that means is obviously people are going to be more enticed to put their savings into dollar because it's a cheaper dollar, right? If the dollar is at high, the dollar is more expensive. But if the dollar is at a low, that means I can put or borrow or basically exchange my other assets for a cheaper dollar. So that's what the Trump administration, or that political party necessarily, not just Trump, but the political party wants. And that's what's happening, which is good for us in crypto and or things like gold or basically any other store of asset, store of value, sorry, store of value asset. That's what I meant to say. With a cheaper dollar, of course, people like to also put things and spread their risk a little bit better, right? So let's have a look at what the Bitcoin dominance is doing. This is a chart that we've been watching closely for quite some time now. Pretty much every week we have a look at it and what's happening. And look, the short of it is my macro prediction still hasn't changed. In fact, it basically just gets validated week by week, which is we are going to come back into massive monthly candle, trade back into it. We are well and truly trading already into it. And if we will watch what it looks like on a daily, obviously we're jumping from monthly to daily, we can see that we had a fake out, which was this big move down here, where we thought potentially this could be it. I did say, let's just wait. This could be another fake out, and it was, because we ended up breaking structure and going higher. Now, the real question is how much higher we can go. And I think I covered it last week. I think we are very close to the reversal. Very, very close. You can see signs of exhaustion. You can see signs that the bears are pretty much running out of steam. So we need to really pay attention to this chart daily. And I would say basically from where we are now, 65% all the way up to 70% potentially, it's all fair game. So we could see another big spike like this and then potentially a very sharp drop. And I want all of you, live or not, paying attention at how the Bitcoin dominance moves. Very slow build up and super quick drop down. Very slow build up and very quick drop down. So that's why we can't really sleep on it. I think this is a chart. Potentially, I'm going to go out and say this is the most important chart to look at on the market currently for crypto. And obviously we can see that we are starting potentially to move. I apologize, didn't mean to move that. We can start potentially to break some structure. Technically you can say this was a break of structure, but really I want to see this level down here taken out. So I'd rather wait and see for some really strong confirmations before calling it. But we are definitely close, which is a really good sign for us and all of our favorite alts. So with that in mind, what is happening with Ethereum BTC? Now, if BTC dominance, you can call it the main temperature gauge for the alt season, this is effectively its actual temperature. So once this chart start to move up, we will have an alt season. If these charts keep dropping, we will basically not have an alt season. The reason is ETH, you can hate it, you can love it, doesn't matter what you do. What matters is that it holds the second most amount of money aside from obviously Bitcoin. And we can see we had this chart marked up since May, and pretty much the move happened, not as dramatically, but almost to the T. We came back, we filled lots of these imbalances, and now it's just a matter of saying, okay, are we going to start pushing up? And once again, my prediction obviously being invertedly correlated to the Bitcoin dominance is, yes, we will see some sort of break of structure, but I want to see this level, which is the 25 or 0.025, being taken out with conviction. Up until that moment, I will not be making any plays with alts, and I'm pretty much just sticking to the main four at the moment. And you probably saw in my calls, I am really just sticking to main fours. And speaking of main fours, we do have a Bitcoin play. Obviously, this was the previous, I graded out because I don't like to have a lot of things on my chart. But basically, this was the previous play, which we stopped out in profit. So we all good there. But as far as today, obviously, called up sell. And the sell was called basically quite simple in terms of trade. Risk to reward was there for me, so it just made sense. It was high to low, 76 at A6 area, 4-hour order block or candle. Takes our liquidity from up here. Didn't quite take this high, which I didn't necessarily love, but it took enough liquidity for me to have it as a point of interest and for entering a short. So now, if I scale down in time frame, you will see that I have the same entry, but with two different short position. So the way I usually play these things is one is a bit more of a swing, and one is a bit more of a scalp. And obviously the scalp now, I didn't even call it, so you don't have this to worry about. But this is all for transparency. The scalp just got stopped out. And the swing will likely get stopped out potentially, but we did give enough room, as you can see, to the previous high. So I'm not going to call it just yet. I'm not going to say close at a loss, because we still have all this area to cover before we get worried. So I'm still in the short in the swing anyway, and I'm just going to let it run. The market is showing a lot of strength. But obviously, when we see this kind of strength, we can potentially expect some sort of retracement, in which case I might be able to close this potentially even at a break even, as opposed to close it at a loss. Where do I think the market might go from here if it keeps going higher? Well, obviously, the next logical point would be the all-time high, so the $112,000 Bitcoin. But we do have some levels here, and I wouldn't be surprised if we bounce a few times, because the selling pressure will definitely be there. When we're nearing all-time high, there will be a lot of selling pressure, and therefore it's important to have all this level marked up, even though they seem very close, like 110,651, and then this one is a little bit higher, 110,829. They're all pretty important levels. So like I said, very close to all-time high. Let's just wait and see. And if I get stopped out, that's fine. I'll get stopped out. That's why we risk a certain amount, a predetermined amount, percentage of our account. Because every time I enter a trade personally, and I expect you guys and girls to do the same in the Discord or on YouTube, every time we enter a trade is basically just like, imagine you lost that trade and that capital is gone. That's the best way. You're not attached to it and you just keep going onto the next best trade, and that's the only way. You don't get attached to a trade. There's no emotions here. So we'll see, but definitely live we can see Bitcoin is going for a run, which obviously I'm assuming we will see a similar move from the other ones. And you can see Ethereum has done a similar move. We obviously caught this very nice, what was it? There to there. So it was almost a 1 to 4. Beautiful short right there. And that was a nice one the other day. And now for ETH, I would like to wait and see. And the next level that I'm interested in ETH is obviously this major candle right here. This one right here, but you cannot ignore here. And if we are to take a fib from this high to this low, we can pretty much straight away see that we are into the 76, 86 area right here, which is obviously our favorite area to trade into, which will trade into that beautiful 4-hour candle, which we just highlighted right here. So this will be potentially the next area that I'm interested in shorting. Disregard this, that's not there. And yes, we'll just wait and see. This would also mean that we eventually go up and take out this highs right here and this liquidity, which has obviously been building, and we come back here, fill this equal highs almost, and go from there. So for me, I'm not gonna enter any new positions aside from the Bitcoin that we are currently in, or I am currently in. If you're in with me, great. If not, probably even better because it's in red currently. So but shout out to Greeny and anyone that did manage to catch the reversal. We obviously caught it down, but a few of you guys managed to caught the up. So I wouldn't close anything. If you're in a long position currently, I say let it run, especially in things like ETH, sorry, and yeah, see how high we go. Now, Solana was an easy one, and we're just gonna go through why we took the trade. So every price feed is different. So let's just start by saying when you're looking at any price action on our crypto, please do make sure that you check a couple. For me, the biggest one that I always have, even though I don't train on Coinbase, that's where majority of the liquidity is, alongside with Binance, of course. And if I see a major wick like this one on Coinbase, that tells me that there's some serious manipulation at play. And manipulation is obviously done by smart money, bigger whales, larger players, and this price feed was in fact incongruent with other price feeds. So other price feeds did not have this kind of wick, which lead me to believe that obviously we had an artificial price, and you can see it up here. I lost my money. We had an artificial price manipulation for a buy to sell move. So pretty much as soon as I saw that wick and divergence with other price feeds, I enter a short current market price, and yeah, it was pretty clean. You can see we basically nailed it from the entrance. Sure, it could have been up here for zero drawdown, but not too unhappy with that. And yes, that was a solid, what was it, 1 to almost 5.5. So good stuff. Original take profit, you can see I took 75% here because the original take profit was down here, but we obviously let it run all the way down. There's no point in closing their winning position. I take out 3/4 of it and I see how far we can go down. But now we are obviously in a bullish price action. The real question is, since we have a running Bitcoin, since we have a running ETH, will we come back up here on SOL? And you can say that this wick was a very weak attempt, and this wick was a very weak attempt. I do think we'll come back up here, retest this price, potentially 50% on that candle before we see some sort of reaction. So you can attempt to do the short from here. Probably don't necessarily recommend that because you'll be now pushing against price action. We have effectively broken structure. And if we close above here, we have definitely broken structure right here. So if we do this, this will be the new high. You can see this was the previous high right here. So it's just going to be a matter of seeing what the 4-hour and the daily structure gives us. But yeah, the break of structure has officially happened as of this candle right here. And we're starting to make, obviously, higher lows right here. So we are in a bullish price action, nothing new there. I'd rather wait for a pullback and then catch the long if needed be. So I'm not going to try to short just yet, even though I am a reversal trader. There's a time and a place, and this is not it for me. The risk is just not there. Let's have a look at some other plays. Let me know in the chat if you are still in some of these plays. We called them the other week. This was an absolute snipe on Jupiter. Like, there was basically zero drawdown. We took the entry right there. No drawdown, and we already moved. We entered at 34 cents. We're now at 47 cents. So I called this out as a portfolio and a leverage, and that's what I did. I did a leverage and a portfolio. So I'm in both. Obviously, for the portfolio play, my take profit, you can see that's $1. Whereas for a leverage, I'll be playing off some fib extension. So 75 cents and 80 cents. Enter. Awesome. Thank you for participating and playing. Let's see. Hopefully we get a reversal in that BTC. I do think, just looking at the price action, when you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, what is that? 6 candles, 6 4-hour candles. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 4-hour candles in a row. And this was a pretty weak at 10th. I am expecting some sort of bearish reaction of sorts. You can see the 4-hour highlighter here had an attempt to go lower, which is why I entered the scalp. But I think now on the 15 minutes, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. If we can close below here, I'll be happy with BTC. That means that the idea is confirmed. If we reject from here, however, I'll probably close the break even. So this level on the 15 minutes, extremely important where we are now. This is where the structure currently holds at 108,600. Let's just wait and see which one it is. Are we going to go higher and close the break even, or are we going to go lower and keep the short open? Sorry, I digress there. Going back to other plays that we were in. So Jupiter very much in profit, and Bonk also very much in profit. So almost at TP, you can see there. We are not far off, so that's really good. And similar to that, Filecoin actually ended up hitting full TP for me, so I am out. There was a 1 to 2, so that was right there. But if you are still in Filecoin, I'd probably say keep it running, because there's a good chance that we might come back into this week and this week. So if you are still in this play, good on you. And yeah, just wait until we at least touch or mitigate some of these weeks right here. So personally, I'm all out. I am out. And IO was also another one. This was a beautiful trade, I think. In fact, I love this setup. It was a very clean 76 A6 area. And now tell me in the chat, have we broken structure yet? Is this a breaker structure? Yes or no? What does chat gives me? Feel alive, chat. Tell me in the chat. Is this a breaker structure? Have we started making some high highs? I'll delete it. We'll do it together. On a 4-hour. Let's do it together. So we can see why we take some setups. This is super important. Higher high, low. Oh, I should say lower high, lower low. Lower high, lower low. Lower high, lower low. Lower high, lower low. Lower high, higher low. This is not a breaker structure, but it's a sign. And then is this high higher than this high? It is, isn't it? So this was the previous high. Yep. So this is the breaker structure right here, and this breaker structure. Now I'm making it too big. These breaker structures, they're confirmed by another higher low. Is this low higher than this low? It is. So what we've done, we have shifted. We've gone from a downtrend to an uptrend. Okay, so this was the last lower high, and this was the first higher low, and this was the first higher high, preceded by another higher low. And now we are making higher highs. So we will likely see something like this. Okay, so this is the breaker structure that we seek and wait for. This is what, when I say wait for a breaker structure, I mean wait for this changing character. We're not making any, or in case of a buy, depends, right? In case of a buy, we're not making any lower highs and lower lows anymore, and instead we're making some higher highs and some higher lows. So we did indeed break structure here in IO. Oh, pleasure. Once you see structure, and I'll say this, and I think I've said it a few times, but I'll say it again. If there's one thing you want to get good at as a trader, it's not indicators, it's not RSIs, it's not harmonics, it's not fair value gaps. If you were to focus your one topic as a trader, let it be structure, because structure tells you what happens next in the market more times than not. So go back test it, understand when the structure is broken, and always remember higher time frame, right? And apologies for this, over lower time frame. Okay, so lower time frames are weaker, higher time frames are kings. 4 hour, daily, 3 days, weekly. That's why you want to look for breaker structure, right? Because that obviously happens all the time in a 15 minutes and a 5 minutes and a 1 minute chart. They have a place. They're really good for scalping, of course. But when it comes to, excuse me, swings, like in this case, that's what we want to look for. But the reason why we obviously entered this trade was pretty clear. There was a liquidity, 3 equal lows down there. I saw the drawn liquidity. The drawn liquidity also happened to be in the 7A6, 8A6 area. So that was a pretty clean risk to reward for me. I was happy to lose, 1%, 0.5% in this case I did, of my account for what looks like to be it's going to go up for sure, at least to these highs. But this is probably, if you're watching this now and you're still in IO, this is TP1 because it's a 1-to-1 right there. Cool beans. Okay, that was pretty much the recap and trades that I wanted to have a look at. But now, while you guys maybe think of any charts, if you want me to take a look at and whatnot, what I'm going to do my usual scroll, which is basically, you're going to see what I do. So I've got my checklist down here. And I go through my favorite pairs and see what they're doing. Favorite pairs, obviously the main fours we just analyzed, very much on a stronger bullish price action currently. Maker looks like it is pushing high. I do want to see this high taken out for Maker and go back into the 2200. Obviously been a bit of a slow churner with Maker and ETH. Rocket Pool is probably the project that has disappointed me the most this season. I don't think I've ever even called it in GTG anyway. So, but this is something that I have a fair bit in my portfolio, and unfortunately, I was buying it a lot higher. The reason is Rocket Pool was one of those projects that let you stake ETH aside from Leader Finance, so you didn't have to have 32 ETH in order to stake. But now looks like ETH staking is coming as a native on the ETH platform. So unless they pivot their business model, there's not going to be much there left for Rocket Pool, unfortunately. A project that I did, however, call many times on GTG was Aerodrome Finance, and I know that I called it here, and we called it against was somewhere here on this level. Then here we went a little bit lower, we came a little bit lower than the previous high, and now we are starting to push higher. And once again, do put this project on the map. DeFi holds the key to a lot of money, and airdrop finance, of course, on Coinbase, which means there's going to be a lot of institutional money coming soon. We've seen XRP, was that today, filing to become a bank in the US, and I'll assume that the next step will be likely entities like Coinbase coming too. So anything associated with Coinbase, I would definitely bet on. Which brings me to the next point, a gem that I called. A massive shout out to Harvey. Actually, he's not here anymore, but in GTG, as he still exists, but just not in GTG. He did call that ages ago, and yeah, we did our due diligence and absolutely love the project. So if you go into D-Science category on CoinGecko, you will see there is a project called Research Coin. And you know that I've called this a number of times now. You can see the first call was, oh no, I didn't mean to move it. The first call was down here, and we proceeded to do a cheeky 600%. The second call was up here, and that was another almost 100%. And the third call was done just recently. The third call was here, so we proceeded to another 175%, and now we're retracing once again. Now, I've been buying all this, right? So buying. I do think this project is nowhere near its take profit. Like, this is going to be a $5 coin, in my opinion. It's got to do with D-Science. D-Science is a very hot topic among some of the brightest minds in blockchain, and I do think I hope we will get another entry below this liquidity trend line, which we're taking. So something like this will be a beautiful entry around the 30 cents if I was to put my money on something. 33 cents actually, to be precise, in this order block right here. So if you don't have any DeSci exposure, this is a small percentage of my portfolio, mind you, because it is a speculative obviously field, D-Science and D-Pain, but definitely I would want to put a little bit of Research Coin or RSC in my portfolio. So not financial advice, do what you want with your money. It's risky, you always lose in this game. It's a rigged game, we play, big money always win, but if we're smart enough and we follow big money, we might have a small chance to make some. Which is why I've been putting RSC on my portfolio. And that is my spiel for Coinbase. Other projects, obviously, I do have a lot of conviction in is Uniswap, massive DeFi, #1 DeFi aggregator, you can say. It's been tested through the sands of time. It's been around for a long time. It's been around almost from the beginning. And to snag it at $7, I think by the time it's all said and done, Uni will easily go back into the 20 to 35. So easy, you know, another 3 to 5x from current level. And I deem this plays with Uni, and I'm talking about months / years of holding, right? Like, I'm not talking next month, we'll go to 35. I do want to see some projects that have tested, like I said, yeah, have really proven that they know what they're doing, and Uniswap is it. A lot of consolidation you can see now. I would love to see for these lows to be taken out and potentially come back and fill some of this imbalance. But now I'm being very picky with a $5 to $6 entry that might not happen. And Uni in the past, I do have some good friends that were waiting for an entry that never eventuated. So all I'll say is, when it comes to leverage, you want to be super precise because you get liquidated, right? You get stopped out. But when it comes to portfolio, you can be a little bit more lenient. And, you know, if you have an entry at $7, but you need to retrace it temporarily back down to 5, and then it goes to 35, guess what? You're still up nicely, and there was no liquidation involved. So understand what game you want to play. Everyone has got different goals, and everyone's got different end games. So play accordingly. For me personally, uni would definitely be a portfolio play at these levels, definitely. Let's have a quick look. We've got Atom, which is another great coin, which looks like we might have called it. It might have actually hit our entry previously. There you go. I did not have an entry there, but we'll have to go back and have a look. So Atom activated if you were following the plays and you leave the entry orders open. And we have Casper, and Casper, oh gosh, look at that, hey? I think we actually called this, did call this. This was an entry that we absolutely sniped, and this was an easy one. Like, I didn't draw this. You can go back on the Discord and see the calls. This was called back when Casper was still making the up move. So I think we called it right about here. So it did that. And the way we do it is pretty simple. Even though it's not simple, but it is pretty simple to see visually, which is basically low to high, fib retracement, AA6 of the macro move, and then we have another smaller move, which we go from low to high, and that was also overlapping beautiful with an AA6. So you can see here I've got in yellow what I call fib clusters, and more often than not, price when you have these fib clusters really close tends to react. Like here was another one, which obviously you can see there was some sort of reaction. Obviously that was not a call, but if I do that, you can see in this area, because this was the area right here, market did came back. Sorry, there. Oh, didn't grab my arrow. Market did come back, went lower, retested the buying pressure, didn't find any, and obviously proceeded to go lower. But you can see the market does stall in this really key area. So Fibonacci levels matter, people. Make sure that you always use the Fib tool. And if you have any questions, these are the sessions that you want to ask them to, because I'm more than happy to answer them. So yeah, Casper was a pretty solid entry. You can see this was the call. There you go. I've got two. I've got one for portfolio and one which is a USDT. Love to see the earlier waves. Yep. And they're there. They just made sense, right? So, well, Cuppy, massive shout out to you, mate. You've been nailing it. So, massive shout out to Cuppy for all of his calls. What he's saying is, I had marked down some major Elliott waves. There was wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Preceded by an ABC, and then there was another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, and now we are obviously forming an ABC, which makes me think we're gonna see some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. Nah, man, you do what you do, mate. Don't worry. We are all here to learn, and we're all students to the market at the end of the day. We are all students to the market. So this was the play in Casper. If you took it, I've got one going in Gains, I think it is. That's one of my DeFi platforms that I like to use. So yeah, shout out to anyone that is in. So Casper is looking good. Link is another one that I was interested in, and unfortunately the bummer didn't quite get down there. There's too much buying pressure. We didn't get there, but these equal lows that we did leave back here have me hopeful that we'll see some price rejection up here into this candle and potentially a little retest. So if I was you, but this can also be a portfolio play, mind you. If I was you, I would put not so much a short here, let the market show us that it's going to go lower, but definitely put a buy order into this daily candle. Okay, and mind you, every price feed is different. So this is on a Bybit price feed on a daily, but it's definitely worth putting a buying order on Link. And because it's on a daily, this can take, you know, a few weeks to eventuate. So that's why it's important to understand the difference between a swing and the difference to a scalp. But I'm more of a swing trader, as you know, even though I do play 1 minute chart sometimes. It's the one extreme or the other. But yeah. ICP is one that is also starting to move finally. Has been just consolidating here for the longest, and it's finally starting to move. I've got a portfolio play that I'll be probably start taking profits first at almost $10, and then eventually I'll take some out again at 15. So basically every $5. So we're at $5 now. My next take profit is at 10, and my next take profit after that is going to be at 15. But for a leverage play, of course, different story. $6.72 is probably my final take profit. So this candle right here, or 50% off, even better. If you want to be a bit more risky, you can go into this order block right here, which takes out this liquidity with this wick, and that could be a great 1, 2, 7, 1, 2, 8.5 or thereabouts. But have to have patience for those plays, fam. Let's have a look at Tau. Tau has been up and down, and overall, obviously, we took some cracking. Oh, would you look at that? I don't know how to look at this charting forever. Let's have a look at this together, because I think I know what's going to happen now. Okay, this is even before I change colors. Look at this. So this was back in 2024 in July. So we have a move up, down, sell, liquidity grab, order block that takes the liquidity sell. Box it up, drag it out for 1 hour and 1 hour, and I'm doing this so you can see how we trade and why being patient matters. This is the order block. So from August 2024, we obviously had the move from 182 to 700. Great. Guess what? Market came back and did the exact same thing. Mitigated that level. Like, you can't make this stuff up. Mitigated the level. Left a footprint behind. 4 hour block. Still, there's a chance that I don't know when that's going to happen. This was almost a year. So what do you say? August 24 to April 25. There's a chance we might come back down there. And this could be some sort of move. And you can see how quickly this move was. So we might see some sort of price action, take out this low, weak, and then move back up. But Tau, yeah, look, you can see here, take profit for me is almost $1,000. So I've been accumulating pretty much every time it goes under 300. Because if 300 to 1,000, it's almost a 3x. So over a 3x. So that's kind of where I am with Tau. So, but it's just funny how to look back at some of the plays that you look a year, 2 years ago, and you're like, there you go. That was a level that was of interest for me. So boom, there you go. You got hit. Market is a beautiful thing, and if you can understand how it moves, we will be successful in the long run. Okay, so last but not least, and then I'll probably call it in terms of calls for the night, is Ton. So the only network, obviously, massive user base. This is the Telegram, official Telegram coin. We have seen now a lot of stickers on Telegram coming out. But Bored Ape launched one, Pudgy Penguins launched. They're all launching on Ton, on effectively Telegram. And look, do I think that they're going to be the next NFTs? I don't care. I don't care if they're going to be the next NFTs or not. All I care about is attention. And if there is attention, there's transactions. And if there's transactions, there's money to be made. And if the money is obviously made on chain, that means that the chain the money's made out of is going to be successful. That's how revenue, right? That's simple economics. The revenue comes from transactions on most of these chains. Gas fees, however you want to call them, you know, on Solana's got very cheap gas fees for that, but short of it is volume. It's what drives price up. So I am basically betting on volume on the Only network. I'm betting that this chain is going to get more attention. And if I go into a very simple volume indicator, you can see that we have some attention that is starting to come in randomly. Like this was the highest volume ever done on TON, second only to this big push down, and it barely moved the price up. That tells me there's a huge amount of demand here from buyers, and this is what's called accumulation. I boxed it up so it's really easy to see. This is accumulation. We're moving sideways, and usually, and Kapi probably knows this like the back of his hand, what happens with accumulation is you get two types of moves. You get a down or upside, depending which one. One or the other is going to be a draw on liquidity, so you exhaust one side of the accumulation or distribution model, and then the moves comes on the other direction. So we have managed to tap there, which means I'm expecting personally a very explosive move up for this in the coming weeks, months. So ton at sub $3, I'm a buyer every day. You can see this is my green box, and I've been buying pretty much every time we are in this green box. And if we do go a little bit lower, well, this was an all-time low. So come on, like we are way closer to the all-time low than we are from where it potentially could go. So the risk to reward for me makes sense. I don't buy stickers, and I barely have Telegram, so I'm not trying to show a product that I use. I couldn't care less. For me, it's all about where the attention economy is, where the volume comes in, and where the revenue goes. Basically, I use the same principle when I evaluate a crypto project as I do in a stock. So, and for you guys that follow my calls, you know this. I am expecting some very nice move on the upside for the Only network. Probably the first take profit will be at the $7 mark, and then potentially back on the all-time high, so a cheeky 3x. That is it for thanks. You go for some Wagyu, mate. Have some for me. Love Japan. I'll finish off with some stocks. We called target right here. This was the bottom. Was it not exactly the bottom? Come on. We absolutely sniped that, and I hope you took it. I don't know, there's some of you, yeah, happy days. So we're up 11% on target, and our Snapshot option is also doing pretty good. So we are happy days. Daza, I knew I could count on you when it comes to stocks. Nike. Oh, yep. Let's talk about Nike. Should we check Nike? Oh, man. Would you look at that? Hey, sexy. I didn't see you sneak it in there, mate. Good to see you. I hope you're well. Yeah. I didn't even want to bring Nike up because it just feels like we're flashing. But yeah, if you're in Nike, you're pretty happy. This was the call. We called it on March 31st of March, and just a few months later, we are up. AMD. Let's have a look. AMD. I think I was following this stock recently. Why does it ring the bell? Let's have a look. I was definitely, I wouldn't be surprised if I got, there you go. I got it charted up. Righto. Okay. Can't make this up. We looked at it in March. I said it's probably going to consolidate and go up. I hope that answered the question. Does it answer the question? I don't. The parabol was a little bit faster than I thought. This squiggle was drawn in March. So yeah, there you go. AMD pretty much followed what we said was going to follow. It's always nice when you go back, and I didn't even have it on my watch list, but we definitely analyzed it. Another one that we looked at, say. Not soy, but say. Okay, so we have, let me grab my tool, there and there. Breaker structure, making higher lows, higher highs. Massive volume coming in. We've gone from flatlining into now having some big volumes. I probably wouldn't buy right now. I would expect for market to come back in some of this volume, because it does act like a magnet. So I wouldn't be surprised if we come back somewhere into this kind of volume and then we move up. So I don't know if you're looking for portfolio or for leverage, but either way, I definitely will not buy now. There is a fair bit of imbalances left behind. Number one, number two, there's a lot of volume to come back to. So if I was to make a bet on say, I'll probably say just wait at least for the 21 cents all the way down to 15 cents. So this will be my level. I'll box it up. It's a little bit easier, but I'll probably say there to there would be a nice DCA zone for say, somewhere there in that vicinity. And obviously for leverage, we would have to snipe a little bit better on lower time frame, but for portfolio, definitely worth waiting for a retracement. What were we watching? We're watching stocks, weren't we? GME, I shared it in the stocks channel. No worries, George. For GME, definitely want to wait. I want to wait. You can see big volume down, and this is why volume is so important to understand. Like you can see, we've gone obviously from $30, massive gap behind, very big volume and very small candle with a big gap. So I want to see come back into this liquidity trend line right here. I want to see it taking out this, and that was very ugly. I apologize. That was very ugly. There, that's a little bit better. This kind of trend line that we formed right here, take it out, give me a better entry on GME, and send me back to these levels. That will be my no worries. Thank you for tuning in. We are pretty much done anyway, so just having a quick run on some stocks. So GME is on my watch list, and the other one that I've been looking at some financials, and I'm liking the FUD, but I haven't shared it yet. So I haven't shared it yet because I want to do some more research. But if you're here now, I'm gonna let you on a little sneak preview. So Tempus AI, go and have a look at what they're doing. They're obviously relatively new. They've been around for about a year. They are an AI company, raised a lot of money, made some investors very happy, went for a cheeky 3x run in just the space of a few weeks, and now they're having a lawsuit for some sort of market manipulation, shareholders and whatnot. When I see those things, I get rallied up because that's all FUD for me. I look at financials more than anything, and financials look good so far, but I do want to see this level holding before I call it. Once we hold this, then I will call it up, but definitely put on your radar. This is Tempus AI or TEM. We also looked at Estén Lauder, was shared here by one of our members. This thing is doing a very nice move. No point in chasing now. If we come back into that anywhere closer to the 86 or this order block right here, $70 will be a good little find. Intel worth once again DCIing. Every time we go back into the $20, I'm DCIing in. There's a lot of volume. There's a lot of consolidation happening for me into Intel right now. So into this massive box. Once we break out from here, yeah, there's gonna be game on for Intel. You can see lots of levels to be filled. So $20 for a long-term game, you know, on Intel sounds like. Did I buy an option or Rivian? I do have a Rivian set up here. I did not call it out yet. No, this was the setup. I didn't call it out yet. The reason is I wanted to see how we react from this level. So this is my what I'm eyeing, and I haven't called it out yet. I want to see market holding, breaking structure, making new highs, new higher lows, and then re-entry on the retest. But Rivian is definitely on the cards. You can see we obviously broken out of the trend line right here. Now the question is, how low do we go? And for those of you who don't understand options, so basically when you're buying stocks, you have two ways of buying. One, you buy the asset and you hold it, you know, and just wait for time to go up. Or you can basically just do similar to what a leverage is. But the thing with option is you also have to pick when your option expires. So you have to be precise, not on one count, but on two counts, one being price and two being time. So it is a bit of a riskier game, which is why they play, obviously, they pay better. But the Rivian specifically, the reason why I haven't called this out just yet is because we could reverse from here, or we could go back and to take this liquidity a little bit lower, in which case, obviously, I want to have a much better entries. $10 versus a $12 entry on an option makes a lot of difference. So to answer your question, Kurt, I haven't called out yet the option, but I did say that I did enter an option on Snap, and I'm in the option, and the option is finally starting to move. This was a long-term option. As you can see, my expiry date is in January 2027. So I'm basically betting that by January 2027, the price will be above my entry, which I'm fairly sure it will be. So will be somewhere here, and you can see the weekly. I think this option, I'll probably exercise my option a lot sooner than that. That will be my bet, because this weekly order block right there, just waiting to be taken out. Lots of liquidity. Cool. It's pretty much it from me. XYZ is another one that we called, and it's doing beautiful. Yeah, of course, go for it. But the IO, let's bring it back. IO trade. I see the breaker structure, just how you explain it, but did you enter the trade before you were sure about the breaker structure? Great question. Love that. So, best, let me grab my drawing tool. We'll go maybe up here. Somewhere new. Market goes up, down, breaker structure happens when we start making higher highs. Higher highs, and we start making higher lows. So technically, the best time to take a trade would be not from here, because this could be a fake out, but it is in fact from here once the breaker structure is confirmed. Okay, so this is technically the best time to take a trade. And the reason, and I'll explain this, and I have gone through this into some videos, so please do make sure that you check them out in the channel. When you have price action going in one direction, you could have what's called a fake out. So if you were to press buy here, and this was a fake out, you might get stopped out for price only to continue lower, and this turned out to be a fake out. Whereas what happens once you basically just wait for another layer of confirmation, you then have a much better entry. And I actually need to correct this, because the better entry would have been here. This is what I was going to say. So, well, you basically wait for a retracement of the previous high, and you can put the stop loss just before. In this case, obviously we're doing a buy, but it could just be a reverse. You can put the stop loss here, or you can even put it here if you wait. Oh, you bloody legend, mate. I love you, Sexy. You're the man. You're the man. I hope you had a good birthday, brother. I hope you had a good birthday and you celebrated with all of your family, because we cannot thank you enough for what a legend you are on the group. So all this, this is where you would, if you want to be on the safer side, enter. However, and there's a disclosure. If you've been in the market long enough and you see signs and you develop your own trading plan, and you understand risk, you can be a bit more risk on, okay? And what I did here, which is part of the strategy, is you basically see, and I'll show you here, market making lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, breaker structure, yes, enter off the 76 of this move. Do you see it? Does it make sense? So we broke the structure right here and we entered off a fib zone. 786 AA6 gives us a great risk to reward. And if you notice, if I delete all the squiggles, I didn't put my stop loss down here, which was technically the low, right? The last low. I actually ended up putting my stop loss below here because I wanted to be a bit on the safer side. And I'd rather be a bit more safe when I take this, not non-confirmed, but trades with a bit more risk. I'd rather be a bit safer and give myself a bit more room for the market. Whereas if I end up waiting for this trade to eventuate and I take this entry here, then I would definitely put my stop loss below the previous low, because I would have an extra layer of confirmation that the market is moving into my direction. But hopefully I answered the question. I saw a breaker structure. It kind of got confirmed here, and then I waited on a 786. Basically, this could have been a fake out and the market could have gone lower, but I had enough confidence when I looked at a macro perspective, given that this was the chart, that we were so close at the all-time lows, right? This was the chart. We were, I think you can agree, a lot closer to the all-time lows than we were at the all-time highs, that I basically said, I am happy to risk 0.5 to 1% on my account for a long here. And if that was a fake out and we would have gone a little bit lower, I would apply the same entry again once we had a better confirmation. So great question though. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Yay. Awesome. I think that's it, team. Unless you have any other questions. Thank you for accommodating a reschedule. And you probably heard in the background my son crying. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna have to go out and check what happened. I hope I don't go out to getting destroyed. Wish me luck. Oh, love it. Thank you so much for tuning in live, and if you're watching the recording, of course, thank you for making the time. But the real legends are you guys that tune in and week out. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next week. Have a great night.